Oh,
Is the volume all the way up?
oh, it's volume. Have you turned it up?
It's the button on top. Look on top, top of the
Oh,
top,
here we
top. Other side.
No, it's here, isn't it?
You
Okay.
fucking idiot.
Yeah, that doesn't change the actual.
Right.
The button.
What, here?
No, on
The
top,
clitoris.
top.
The
The
clitoris.
metal on top. Yes, go to the top. There's a button there.
Ah, the button.
Stand the fuck
Oh,
up.
here we are.
Stand the fuck.
Hey,
Now the other
other
button.
way.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Ah,
There we go.
Yeah.
Is it all the way?
Yeah, all the way.
Now fuck off.
All the way when somebody loves you.
one enchanted evening.
Right, all right. Everybody shut up. We're gonna
Right,
start. Here we
right.
go.
And you're off.
Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of our fabulous new program, The Deadline.
Start again.
Suck a dick.
Suck a dick and say deadliners.
Good evening and fuck you.
Where do you wish? Carry on.
Call it the left line.
Roger, you can do this, darling. Come on, sweetheart.
You're
You know what you're doing. I have faith. I believe in you.
Thank you.
ills.
Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of our fabulous new program, Deadliners. We are all here tonight in our new surroundings, our exciting and new, very plush studio. Let me introduce our guests tonight. On my left, we have Jojo Sutherland, the Scottish Queen of Comedy, who is just amazing, and last night hosted one of the greatest comedy evenings I have ever seen, headlined by Jim Davidson, no less. And I'm very proud to say that at this huge event with so many people at the fabulous Comedy Unleashed in Bethnal Green in London, 3 of the people who performed are part of Deadliners, and they're here tonight. There's Jojo, there's Nicholas DeSantos, and there is Jen, the Intel lady, who's actually not here tonight, but you will all have seen her in previous episodes as Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. And they were all great, and Jim Davidson was just absolutely unbelievable. On my right, we have a guest, Dave Atherton, who is a very big social media influencer and general giant gob on politics and economics and related matters. Behind me, who is there? Because I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
Is Andy?
There's Andy Clapp, who is a famous. Yeah.
Sorry. For Andy's ass.
Sorry, clap for Andy Zapp, a famous old-style London Cockney comedian who is a very, very funny man. And he was there last night too. And who else is here, hostess Jojo?
Mark's here.
And
Mark is definitely here.
Mark Rivlin,
Yeah, that's right.
another very funny Jewish comedian
Oh, more Jews.
who tells jokes. Who tells jokes like the Jewish pedophile who went to a school and asked the kids if they'd like to buy any sweets. And who else have we got here?
I don't know where that joke's going to.
James.
And we've got our producer. We've got our producer, James Bembridge, who's here.
Yeah.
He is the deputy editor of Country Life magazine. Can you believe?
No, he's getting it wrong.
Country Squire.
Oh, right.
Country
Okay.
Squire.
Stop picking up your
I knew it was some kind of country rip-off magazine or something, you know, knockoff.
He
Country-
did bring the sandwiches and
He
the
bought
beer.
the sandwiches
And the
and the beer. He bought
So we
the
love James.
and
He got me along as well.
and he got Dave Atherton here. I thought you came here for me. Anyway, whatever.
We're all here.
I
for
told him to
you.
call you, yeah.
We're all here for you,
We're all here for me,
Roger.
and I'm all here for you.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's been fantastic. And is there anyone else in the room?
No,
No.
unless you're
Okay.
seeing people and you've got an invisible
Okay.
friend.
I'm
That's
seeing
the
double
best of
people.
acting.
And Nicholas DeSantos, the Italian-Iranian comedian who also was absolutely brilliant with
Not as brilliant
Jim
as me, though.
Davidson, not as
No.
brilliant as
No.
Jojo, who, as I say, hosted the whole bloody thing last night. He is not with us at the moment. He has been kidnapped by the Iranian Republican National Guard for saying seditious things about Iran. No, actually, he's having a bowl of cornflakes at the moment because he missed dinner, and he'll be with us very shortly. And finally, folks, on the screen with us on Zoom, because he's not with us here in the studio, in the room, he wasn't allowed to come because he is proscribed by the government, is Pete Cunningham, who actually inhabits the character Frank Sanazi, Sanazi, which, if you think about it, gives you a clue to who he impersonates. Frank Sanazi. Hello, Frank. How are you?
I'm fine. What a lovely introduction. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And
All right. Well, you know, guess
thanks for
what?
sticking me to the far right of your screen. That was very thoughtful.
There we go. Well, guess what? Because Nick isn't available yet, but will be with us soon. Just as soon as he's finished giving his mindfulness lesson to the Ayatollahs.
Yeah.
The story that he was going to start with, we're going to start with you and your story
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's nice to be. Thanks for asking me on. I mean, I have a problem with censorship, as you can imagine, with my act. I've been cancelled more times than Katie Price's credit cards. I mean, there's an article at the moment that's out in The Critic, this magazine. It's called Britain's Most Civilized Magazine. And it's interesting. It's written by a guy called Freddie Attenborough on the 3rd of July. And apparently, for the first time since records began, the UK is no longer classified as an open country in a leading global ranking of freedom of expression, which is completely outrageous when you think about it. When we brought up, well, I mean, we started democracy in the first place. And it's dropped from, I think it's, in the top 100, we were 81 points, 85 points, below the 80-point mark now, which basically means we're sort of restricted as to what we can say. This obviously includes things like indicators like media freedom, internet censorship, academic independence, all these sort of things. I just wondered, my own personal opinion about performing, as I've been cancelled so many times. I wondered what the Deadliners thought of this, and if they've got any opinions about the state of the country when it comes to what you can say and what you can't say.
Well, I think we should start perhaps with Dave, who's quite an expert on this. Dave, what do you say?
Well, freedom of speech. I think Stasi Starmer as a means of describing him is probably about as accurate as it can. Why Lucy Connolly got 31 months in prison for a dodgy tweet, I've got no idea, and Wayne went over all 3 years. I suppose you guys in the comedy circuit must be feeling this kind of censorship the most.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can only speak from. I mean, I don't do all the like Jojo. I'm not a regular on the comedy scene because people just don't want to take me on because I could spoil a bill because of if it's not sitting right with a promoter or whatever. So I don't get booked. I do a lot of cabaret. I've done Torture Garden a few times and cabaret circuit, burlesque circuit. I seem to be more accepted in those fields. Only for this one character. Obviously, I do other characters. I do a Tom Jones send-up character in an old people's home. Where I rewrite all the songs for that, and the Dead Elvis act. They're all perfectly fine to do, but for some reason, it's something about the Frank Sinatra ticket that doesn't seem to sit well with the comedy venues. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I should have said earlier, of course, we do, by the way, want you to do a bit of your shtick for us.
Bit of stick.
Uh-uh.
Shtick, Michael Shtick. Well, I've got plenty of songs, but unfortunately, Zoom doesn't really it doesn't allow me to. Well, the sound quality is not great. Have you not got any clips of me singing before? Because of course I've performed at Comedy Unleashed quite a few times in the past. I even did the one for them in Leeds, which I thought might be a bit.
But have you got a couple of minutes of your repertoire you can give us?
Well, what I do is I open up with my crowd and I say, Frank, I go, hands up if you haven't seen Frank Sinatra before. So I get the audience to put that, and then they realize to pull their hand down. And I say, well, you know, that's how it starts. You know,
Brilliant.
yeah. So and I do a little bit of what I said. One of the popular pieces I say, I'm sorry, I must apologize for being late. You know, I said, it's very un-German being this late, isn't it? I said, but I was actually stopped at customs at the airport there. They interviewed me as I was coming through, and they said name. I said Frank Sinatra. They said occupation. I said, well, no, I'm visiting, but thanks for asking anyway. Just some of the lines that you know throwaway lines that you can that forms part, and I intersperse them with songs. So I've got 3 albums out. Songs for Swinging Leaders, Mein Way on a Steinway, and Putin on the Blitz is another album of mine, about another dictator. Because that's one of the questions I wanted to throw out there as well, is we have all these mad dictators in the world now. And I'm wondering, in fact, I'm going to base my whole Edinburgh show around this, I think. Singing dictators, you know, which are taking over now. So not only we've got dictators, Elton John, I thought would be a good one because he's done Rocket. I thought that would be a nice singing dictator. You know, instead of Skunk and Nancy, we could have Tramplin and Fancy. You know, that could be one. And what we got there, Putin, of course. I sent some footage in about Putin because he had an audience with an American charity thing, and he invited a load of actors over. I don't know if you've seen it, and it's Vladimir Putin singing Blueberry Hill. It's got a lot of hits on YouTube. Yeah, he's learned it obviously in the American version of the song. He sings it in a sort of an American type accent, but it's real footage of him singing Blueberry Hill. So, I mean, if you get a chance to see it, and of course another singing dictator. There we are. You see, they're all over, taking over the world, and it's going to make me redundant.
On Bonjo.
Oh, Bonjo. Yeah, I don't think a Bonjo sings though, does he?
Yeah, no, maybe not. Can I just say though, Frank, I've been aware of your work for a very long time, and we have a friend in common in Maureen Younger.
Oh, Maureen, yeah.
But you've always been someone that, in the comedy industry, you've always been an incredible character act. And until we got to the point where everybody shat themselves and couldn't have a spine so I think what you were saying earlier, the difference between you and I play all the clubs, and you are not necessarily playing all the clubs, is that people get scared because you are very much saying to their mind what looks to be a controversial figure. It fucking isn't, and that's what annoys me. I do work in all the clubs. There is nothing, so I do get slightly frustrated when people say, oh, you're cancelled, you can't say anything. I talk about death, divorce, domestic violence, suicide. I am dark as fuck, but it's about the comedy industry is a herd mentality, which is really disappointing for me, because as comics, we should rise above what is happening in the world and take the piss. That's our job. We're canaries down the mine. We're meant to absolutely fly in the face of popular opinion.
As I always said,
Absolutely.
You've been doing that long before I was, Frank. So that's why, you know, it's nonsense.
as I say frequently, and as I have said at the introduction to the first 2 episodes of this new show, comedians are the best source of the truth.
Yeah.
They say the truth, and they can wrap it in humor so people take it in where they couldn't otherwise.
But if people are really genuinely, if promoters of clubs, I mean, your character act is brilliant. At which point did the promoters in these clubs say, oh God, no shit, we can't book Frank Sinatra?
No, it's an answer,
You know, but
Yeah, I think it's the name though. I think the name puts it off, and of course I mean, as you know, Jojo, when they put a picture of who's on the bill, and they've got me with my moustache, I mean, they go, the times that's happened where we've got, I can't have you, because a lot of people are seeing these images with you and the other comedians. That think, yeah. And so, picture paints 1,000 words. And I think everybody just get, a lot of promoters and people who put on these sort of nights just get cold feet, and they think, well, we're having trouble selling tickets anyway.
No, I know, darling.
Frank, we
Do you
got,
not, sorry.
I'm sorry, we got to move on because we're
Yeah.
running
Can
out
I
of
ask
time.
one question?
Sure.
Do you get disappointed in the fact that the same promoters that were booking you prior to this knee-jerk reaction have now, even knowing your act, knowing how successful and good you are at what you do, can, in the face of this nonsense, go, oh, we can't book you anymore. They fucking know what you do and it's successful.
I know. This is why, Jojo, I brought up this article because I think, what's happening is, if you look at Nazi Germany, when the reason they tried to put the cabaret and comedy underground was because of people were speaking out against at the time the Nazis and what have you, and sending it underground. And what's happening is where this freedom of expression is putting us all back. It's all history repeating itself, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm so sorry, we're gonna run out of time if we
Okay.
don't move on to the next.
Absolutely. Go on, man.
This next, thank you, Frank, that's super. We can
I
edit,
salute you.
we can edit this out. Stay with us, Pete.
Okay.
We can edit this out, but everybody, here's another Dr. Ewald. This is my wife, Sheila.
I
Sheila.
have a joke for everybody.
Yes.
What do you call a fly that can't fly?
Flyless.
A
A
walk.
walk.
Thank you.
Oh.
What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk.
Oh, okay. Well, if I did everything perfectly,
I
you
don't
know,
know, the page is cropped on that, I'm sorry. I'm that Jim.
I just come back from Peterborough after a 2-hour delayed train
Well,
from.
That was your own fault.
Can I say at this point, there's somebody jumped off a bridge at Newcastle that delayed train.
Oh.
Somebody went under a
Why
train in
don't we
Birmingham.
just overdose or
we
hang
need-
themselves like
Yeah,
everyone else?
Do you know what happens? So heartless to die.
You know what happens? It
If
happens.
you're going to kill
to
yourself, literally, please take a pill and hang yourself.
I had a
Don't
girl,
stop the
I had a
trains.
girlfriend whose son was a tube train driver in London. They call it a 1-under, and it happens actually once a week, but we don't get told.
That's where I used to live in South Queensbury.
only way
People
they
used
can
to
get
throw
out
themselves
wide.
off the bridge. And that was the job of the gamekeeper,
Right.
checking the beaches.
That's-
Imagine if Newcastle hadn't won a trophy.
And laugh our way through
Thank you, but
life.
stay with us for a
No,
bit.
I've got
Yeah.
family to meet. I'm really sorry, but I love
Alright.
you very much. We'll
Okay.
see you later.
No.
I'll be
Okay, baby.
successful.
Lovely to meet you.
You too.
Cheers.
With no wings.
These are all, Sheila, these are all famous comedians. She was so brilliant last night, hosting Jim Davidson, who was incredible.
He wasn't as incredible as me.
Incredible, I thought it was brilliant last night. Okay, let's go.
Right,
Sheila,
right.
Sheila.
Moving on swiftly. Yeah, that was very selfish of that bloke in Newcastle. What a
Okay,
selfish.
Okay.
bastard.
okay,
Well, if you're going to kill yourself, kill yourself.
Oh,
Good
okay. okay. All right, let's go.
Was he wearing a tracksuit? Sorry.
Next.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you, Pete. That was, and Pete and Frank, that was great. Thank you very much. And now it's time to move on to something very relevant, very opposite to what Pete/Frank was talking about, freedom of speech. One of my favorite comedians, Dominic Frisby, and he is going to sing you. He's on tour in the States, which is why he's not with us, but he is just so amazing. He identifies sometimes as the Walmart Jordan Peterson. If you know Jordan Peterson, that's very clever, actually. And he's going to sing us a song about freedom of speech.
Sometimes you find yourself with an opinion. That's all it is, a point of view. You ain't gonna kill people with it. You ain't gonna stab someone with your opinion. But it's not the opinion they want you to have. It's not the right opinion. So you keep it to yourself. And they tell you their opinion. You may not even want to hear it, but they tell you. I'm not talking about taxi drivers here, but left-wing comedians. They tell you their opinion. Man, they shove it down your throat. you say, well, I'm not sure that's right. Could be another side to that. And they look at you and they say,
you're a far-right racist, homophobe. You're a fascist, you're a sexist, you're a xenophobe. You gammon, you ideologue, you chauvinist. You Tory scum, you capitalist. You're a bigot, you're a wingnut, you're a swivel-eyed loon. And you'll get your freaking justice, you extremist buffoon. You're spreading hate, you're spreading hate, you're spreading hate.
So this guy I met was telling me about Jeremy Corbyn, how he's gonna save the country. And I was like, I'm not convinced about that guy. And he was saying, no, socialism is the best way to help people. And I said, I'm not sure about that either. I'm not sure a lot of people even want helping out. A lot of them just want to be left alone. And he started telling me that these people need helping out, even if they don't know it. And socialism is the way. And I started thinking of places where they tried socialism. Russia, China, Germany had that National Socialism thing going on. Cuba, Venezuela ain't working so well today. And I couldn't think of one where it had worked. He said, no, that wasn't real socialism. And I said, are you sure? And he looked at me and he said,
you're a far-right racist, homophobe. You're a fascist, you're a sexist, you're a xenophobe. You patriarch, you're biphobic, transphobic, Islamophobic. I'm offended by your views, you should do a lot of time. Having wrong opinions is a hate crime. You're spreading hate, you're spreading hate, you're spreading hate.
So I went for a drink in that place, Wetherspoons. And there was this girl outside with a loud hailer telling people that they shouldn't go in, since that guy, Tim Martin, the owner, came out in favour of Brexit. She said, if you go into Wetherspoons, you are funding hate. And I said, it's only £3.50 a pint. I ain't funding that much hate. And I said, I'm part Italian. I've seen the youth unemployment in Southern Europe, and I don't support that. EU might not be such a good thing. Big government, big corporations, big tech. For me, it's all part of the same problem. And I think decisions are better made locally. And she looked at me, and she said,
you're a far-right racist, homophobe. You're a fascist, you're a sexist, you're a xenophobe. Your views are so bad, your views are so wrong. I'm having a meltdown, I just can't carry on. You're literally Hitler, you're literally him. You must be excommunicated for this wrong thing. You're spreading hate, you're spreading hate, you're spreading hate. Mental explosion!
I guess in that after.
I get that. I know how editing works.
So now I think
Now,
JoJo's.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, Dominic. That was great. We all enjoyed that tremendously. And our next speaker will be none other than Jojo Sutherland, who has got an amazing story. I love this. And over to you, Jojo.
Well, I said to James when we were asked whether we wanted to have a story given to us or come up with our own story. And I said, well, give me a story. And if I like it, I'll go with it. And if I don't like it, I'll come up with my own.
And I'm going to interrupt you to say that again, as with Pete/Frank, I forgot to say in my introduction that we want you to do a few minutes of your stuff for us.
Oh, my stuff
Please.
first before I do the story.
Before or after, because hopefully You'll pick
Well, it
something that
kind-
relates to the story.
Well, so it kind of does relate because the news article that James sent me was about the prolificness of women under 40 who are having strokes or hemorrhages due to sort of very active sexual choking. Now, I'm not being choked to death, or not to death, but so
Being
basically-
choked during
So
sex.
there's a lot of women under the age of 40 whose sexual activity then does result in them having a stroke. So that's quite a concern within the medical professionals. So that the idea that being choked as a sexual preference should lead to a stroke might be of concern. Now, I had never thought of that before because I had a brain hemorrhage when I was 34. And I was told it was genetic, but now I'm beginning to wonder. I'm beginning to wonder, maybe it might have been my sexual activity. Now, if they'd just done research before now, then we could have put this to bed. Excuse the pun. And so, I don't know. So, yes, so apparently there is this real sort of sense that I don't know what the difference is. I think men's idea of what women want and women's idea of what they want are slightly disjointed. And I think pornography in this modern age, I know that my daughter, who's now 22, so she's one of the Gen Z generation, and she went to school with somebody who was called Anal Amy, because that's what all the boys expected. And I think pornography plays a huge part now in the young generation that they're set. You remember when we were young, you just got fingered behind the bus shelter. We didn't
Well, I know about Roger.
I was yellow shelter life.
I mean, it was Playboy was in a bush, either of a woman's or in a bush. And it was a simple time. Remember when it was a simple time? So now with the advent of the internet, pornography, and I think expectations from young men and women are slightly askew because women, you're never going to change us. You can fucking change the genders all you like. Women want to be a princess and be married and down the aisle
Rescued
and
choked.
knight in shining armor.
Choked and
And
shagged.
men want to fuck you up the arse and choke you. So, which does result in a stroke, apparently. There is medical evidence to support
It
it.
was that actor David Carradine, if you remember him, who died of sexual asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation.
What was it,
And some
Michael
musician hung
Jackson?
himself from the door with his belt.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
kangaroo in his mouth.
So it's all that sort of auto asphyxiation.
And I think this is the
erotic.
moment when, Andy, because you've spoken about anal so much,
Yeah.
Andy has to tell you.
And no, I only said to anal once. You've just overdeveloped that in your
twice,
brain.
twice.
Because you're a man.
Andy has to tell you his anal story. What happened when you went home last night, Andy?
Oh, what happened with it?
What happened to me when I went home
Did you
last?
get anal last
Yeah, I
night?
got anal last night. Yeah, I
Oh,
got
was
pegged.
that
I got
pegging?
pegging.
What happened
By my
exactly?
partner, yes. Yes, well, she just, yes.
You're 77.
I know, but that's all right.
Making a cup of tea and
Tell
having a
us-
bit of toast.
Tell us what happened when you got home.
Got pegged.
What he's talking about. What happened when I got home? What about
Yes.
Well, she said, well, when I get home.
When I get out, is she a Yorkshire
How
farmer?
about the light bulb?
When I get home. You remember when he was doing the Jethro?
Yeah.
I said, I came home and my wife, she said to me, if you turn off the light, you can
You can put it up.
you can stick it up my arse.
Oh.
And I said,
Oh.
I should have cooled the light bulb down before I stuck it in. He loves that joke. I'm not very good at doing impression. I didn't know what he was fucking talking about. I mean, what happened when you got an anal? No, I didn't get pegged last night. I did have a nice cup of tea. It was
The
very
best
nice.
goes with Marmite.
Credit where it's due. We were all at an amazing Jim Davidson
Oh,
performance at Comedy Unleashed last night, and you told that Jethro joke. So there we go.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
No, so
Well,
I do find it-
Jojo was in a strip club last
I
night.
was.
She was, yeah.
I did. So I went to a table dancing club. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's where women get their tits out, and I just wanted to drink. And it was fascinating. Do you know what was fascinating about it? Because it is clearly not a premises designed for
Tits
my, well, it's not for my demographic. It's not women who are about to be 60s, choice of venue late at night. However, I was with audience members and we'd had a time, and fucking London, the fucking city that never sleeps. I don't know when they changed the rules, but it sleeps at 11 o'clock when the pub shuts. So we had to go to a titty bar. And what was fascinating, because I have no judgment whatsoever, you knock yourself out, girls. But the girls were very obviously kind of curious as to why I was with a whole bunch of blokes and a woman of a certain age. And there was and then only one of them was brave enough to come and go, "Hi, my name's Tia." I went, "Hi, Tia." And she went, "Can I ask you why you're here?" And I went, "I'm a stand-up comedian. I've just been doing the backyard. These guys were in the audience and I wanted a pint." And she went,
I'm on the backyard.
"Yeah, that makes sense." And I went, "Why are you here?" And she went, "I get tips and I make a lot of money." I was like, "Well, hey, sister, we're fine." So it was just fascinating.
When I first came to London, one of my straight friends brought me to one of these places.
Mm.
There was this Russian woman rubbing her rear cheeks in my front ones and asking if I liked what I saw. They were so large I could see very little. I found it terrifying.
Yeah.
And then I looked to my friend for help, but he just laughed. She took his laughter as a sign of our enjoyment and started gyrating her arse with new and violent speed. It was awful.
See, what I found fascinating by watching the girls with their tits out, because a lot of women, particularly women that haven't been through childbirth, go, "I can't believe you can get your tits out in front of strangers." I have spat out a child through my vagina and shat myself. So really, there's no dignity in being a woman sometimes. But also, who gives a shit? It's that thing that I think we really have to get over ourselves in terms of, we grew up, or we are animalistic. Men went out to work, women stayed at home, barefoot and pregnant. We are a changing generation. I mean, Roger, you're still an old cunt, so you'll never get over it, I joke. But it is a thing. But I grew up, it was still legal to rape women until 1992 in Scotland. So let's not pretend that we're progressive. However, that's not to say that we can't change. But I think when we're talking about humor and we're talking about things that we can laugh at, the knee-jerk reaction, we have dark thoughts. We are primal. We are ultimately going to die. There has got to be a leveler within society that needs to get the fuck over themselves. We cannot, any of us, claim the moral high ground. Men are in titty bars, people are gambling, people are fucking kids. There are all kinds of awful things happening in humanity, but there's also great things happening in humanity. And we surround ourselves generally, day by day, with our tribe, with people that we like, the people that we get on with.
Yeah.
I think we genuinely, when we wake up in the morning, want to go out and be a good person. If you turn out to be a cunt, it's probably because society's fucking forced us into being a cunt, and then we need to take accountability for how we treat other people.
But speaking of titty bars, you are performing, I believe, a special show for our Patreon viewers.
Pay to play.
My friend Gus said earlier something about pulling a fucking tenner out of my fanny, and I went, "It must be very creased."
Very dry.
All right.
Dry and creased.
Time for Mark's story.
Yeah, hi.
What's the big story for you now, Mark, this week?
The big story for me is the fact that I started comedy when I was 60. And
Why?
Really?
I turn 70 in September if the Lord spares me.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and it comes from a background of working Saturday nights at the Sunday People on the football for 18 years. And that's where I developed a talent for telling jokes in 10 words, the headlines, of course.
Mm.
So a typical headline in those days was Manchester United player who was the manager of Queen's Park Rangers. And his, I'm just trying to remember his name, it'll come to me in a minute. Yeah, Stuart Houston. He was the manager of Queen's Park Rangers. He was a Manchester United player, and they lost 4-0 at home. And I've got the chief sub-editor behind me. Give me an effing headline immediately. So of course, Houston, we have a problem. And you build up this kind of arsenal of how to write these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And when I stopped doing it, I thought, well, let's have a go at doing one-liners and puns on the comedy circuit. And 300 gigs later, I'm having a really good time.
Wow.
That's phenomenal, but it is because it is, yeah, exactly, Gav. Because it is those headline grabbing things. It's, you know, so when you have one-liners like Milton Jones or Gary Delaney or Stuart Francis, it's those just bang, 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 bang. That's a fucking great insight.
It's a great story. It's a
Isn't it?
very
That's
inspiring story,
fascinating.
yeah.
And actually, you know, I kind of resonate with, like, for instance, I tell jokes roughly about myself. So, you know,
Yeah.
I did a gig in a care home last week.
Yeah.
I think they enjoyed it because they were all pissing themselves.
Yeah. But you do know that. No, you're not allowed to give him that because that is the oldest fucking, that is so such a hack. When we talk about hack material.
Yeah, but now that's a very interesting
Sorry.
point. No, because people who do these kinds of jokes like me, there is parallel thinking.
Of course.
People come up with the same idea, and I work like this. If I think of the joke, I'm going to use it. I don't care if other people have used it,
Yeah.
because there's
Good
no
argument.
point. There's no point in me doing. I don't, you know, I don't give a damn if people. I put all my jokes online. I don't care who takes them. You know.
Well, there's no
and
such
that's-
thing as an original thought, apparently. But
Exactly.
also because we do live in an ecosystem where life and, you know, things throw up at us. Of course, we're all going to have the same experiences. Of course, we're going to all
Yeah.
come up with the same ideas. The whole idea when Facebook, or, you know, I poked her, I mean, the jokes were relentlessly the same. So it is that thing that you can absolutely come up with that joke on your own, but also acknowledge that within the comedy industry, when a lot of people come up with the same joke at the same time,
Yeah,
independently, then it becomes hack. So
Yeah.
you then have to be better than that. You have to be cleverer than that and go a step further.
Yeah.
So
I do like wordplay jokes as well. I've got one of the first jokes I wrote was my sister's daughter is one of those doctors that puts you to sleep before an operation. So I've got anaesthetist. Anaesthetist. Let the
But it's
audience
fine as
take
well.
care of
very
But
good.
it is, you know, like I remember thinking that joke, you know, when it to be or not to be, you know, like, or is it a HB or a, you know, like Spike Milligan did that. Was it? Yeah, I think it was Spike Milligan did it about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But I just kind of thought of it and I had to be or not to be.
I tell you the most famous one, which is again, it can be an original thought from someone, but it is so easily traceable back to the original convener of it, which was oh God, what's he called? Don French, not Don French, Joe Brand. Joe Brand famously stood on the Comedy Store stage, moved the microphone out of the way and went, I'm just going to move this out of the way in case you can't see me. I have seen that. I have seen that joke done 100 million times by men and women over 30 years. I've just moved the mic out of the way in case you can't see me. That is, to my mind, Joe Brand joke.
Yeah.
However, I can completely sympathize, empathize, and accept that somebody else who is, to give the words of Bruce Devlin, well-nourished, if a well-nourished person were to completely come up independently of that thought, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Joe Brand absolutely did that first.
Yeah.
So it's not saying that they've stolen it,
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
saying,
we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
I made my point clear.
You made your point beautifully clearly. Andy,
Yeah,
Andy, you want to say something very appropriately about old people. They're coming,
yeah.
they're coming after
They're
old
coming
people.
after
What are you talking
And
about?
I was kind of really interested. Like, first of all, I was looking at it and thinking, how are they coming after us?
Wait a minute. This is a current affairs show
Yes.
run by comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying that this is a current affair? This is a story that's relevant today? They're actually coming after old people
They
today?
are over six.
It's called paranoia.
No, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean it's not happening, does it? Really?
Yes,
In the
because
drugs, Andy.
yes, because as who was it?
Who was it?
Who was it? What's her name?
Oh my God, we
No,
really do
no,
need
it's
a
fine.
fucking.
Golda Meir
Yes.
said to Henry Kissinger, Mr. Kissinger, even paranoids have enemies.
That's right.
Do we get this podcast sponsored by Saga Holidays?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, it's nice you've got Andy Zapp on there because I remember
Carry on, Andy.
Andy Zapp is so old he remembers the Dead Sea when it was just thick.
77, I looked at it.
77 Sunset Strip.
I've still got it. I've still got it. The thing I still got, I think I might have misplaced it, but it doesn't matter.
But it's still
But they're
got it.
saying every 40 seconds, some person over 60 is getting frauded online.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
40 seconds, so that's kind of, and I do feel they kind of, I thought of that woman who was protesting, she was 83 years old, the lady vicar who got nicked. Now, how do you nick an 83-year-old lady vicar? This was on the news. I think she was doing a Gaza thing or something, but she was 83 years old going, no, genocide is wrong, and they just nicked her. You know what I'm saying? And then there was the old geezer, 93 years old, who got assaulted in the, we've done this story before, but I kind of checked it out a little bit more. And where it was, I just took some notes here the other day. The
The one with the
IOPC,
butter knife.
the one with the butter knife,
Okay.
one leg, and the IOPC, which is the Independent Office for Police Conduct, the main guy,
They're not independent because they investigate themselves, so it's all
but yes, okay, we know all this. But the IOPC, Peter Court, who was the assistant police commissioner, or a police constable, he said that people have to kind of use limited force and be really mindful, and that the police actually have to make these split-second decisions. But what actually transpired was they waited 83 seconds before making this split-second decision.
It's not a split-second decision if you
Oh,
can't pick it
wow.
up.
But the bloke, has got one leg.
It's a long time.
They tasered him.
Wow.
I remember that.
They hit him on the arm with a metal bar, and they squirted him with the pepper spray.
Yeah.
And they said,
Just to keep him alive.
pardon?
Oh, just to keep him going.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
That's how the NHS deal with the elderly.
He wanted them to choke him too, but they wouldn't.
Yeah,
He
and do him up the arse.
got an erection.
He did.
Oh, we loved
He
it.
never runs out of Viagra because he's got a standing order.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the
Yeah.
thing, like just getting old though, like it's just, it does scare. I don't wear a gold chain anymore because I'm, like I know a friend of mine who was.
So I'm sorry, I misunderstood. So you mean it's the criminals, it's the crooks that are coming after old people?
Oh, and the
100%.
police, and the
Well,
police.
it's not just that. Every birthday of Andy's, I send him a Dignitas flight.
Yes.
Um,
No, but I definitely, I used to,
I
I do a
worry
joke
about
of-
how I'm gonna die though.
Do
Do
you?
you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't exist, so it doesn't matter to me, but,
Well, you do.
no, I don't.
I hope you die
Um,
painfully. Go on, go.
But I do this joke about the fact that, in your 20s or 30s or even your 40s, you're telling men to fuck off. You get to your 50s, you're like, fucking harass me, Jesus.
Yeah,
invisible.
exactly.
Totally
Sexual
invisible.
assault is the best I can hope for. at this point.
Invisible.
That's
But
at
when
my
you get
age.
into your 50s, 60s, 70s, you're invisible. You literally become invisible.
These stories really
You're
choke me up.
invisible to society in a way that you're just like, there is something about getting older.
It's great.
Well, it's great because you don't give a fuck,
Mm.
but equally, it is kind of just going, your opinion doesn't seem to matter. I have been told, my daughter.
Well, your opinion doesn't matter, yeah.
It doesn't
That-
matter. My daughter said to me, my youngest, she went, honestly, Mum, I think I said this last night, it's like your first day on earth. And I'm like, it was my last.
You did say that last
And
night.
it's, I think, so the younger generation think that we have no quality of life, that we
Yeah.
don't have any,
You're right.
like, stop treating your, I have been through shit that I can't
Exactly.
wait for you to be raped.
But the,
I genuinely can't. I'm
but
joking.
Wow.
let me
But
just
it
say, shush! Just a moment.
Don't tell a woman to shoot.
Shut your
It's when-
fucking
when it's
cave
not
hole.
bad. What are you thinking?
Oh! She's pissed herself again. Oh no.
Well, I'll be
James.
But the
Things soak in, James.
But I jest, but
No,
it's that thing, it's
listen.
going, they're literally, people do not understand the level of how much complete,
We do. Well, a lot of people do. Like,
but
you know.
it's getting older.
Listen,
just
listen,
don't
I
think
go
we've
on the
lived a
stage,
life.
I say I'm an old school comedian, right? And then they say, well, what's old school? I say, well, old school is like, I look at an old geezer and I said, he's old school, like he's a bit racist, sexist. And then I look at a young fella asking how old.
Be racist or
No,
sexist,
listen,
but just not-
let me just finish.
Okay, go on then, finish, Andy.
Well, it's
That
just.
was- I mean, at 77, that will be a job, it'll be dust. But
It's great. The Jojo Sullivan show.
I'm thinking about this airlines you could do for Dignitas. You could get they're all going to cash in. Easy death, easy death,
He could do some ads for them.
Yeah,
easy death, or Dynair.
Australia's a good place to go and dine. You know, Netherlands are a good place to go and dine.
Switzerland.
Austria's a good place to
Or
jump.
off a bridge in Newcastle, quicker.
But the thing about being old school is, let's get back to the old school. They say, I said, what that means is that how old I am. They say I'm 26. I say, well, in another 40 years' time, nobody's going to listen to what you've got to fucking say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's just So there we are.
You could have said it quicker.
you get so frustrated that you are dismissed as you get older, that you don't know anything, when obviously you know more than previous
Well, exactly.
generations, because you've lived through it.
Yes.
You know you're getting old. You know you're getting old when you watch a porn movie and you look at two people having sex in the bedroom. You go, "Oh, that bed looks comfy."
Yeah.
You go, what?
But you know,
Oh, that bed looks comfy in a porn movie.
I
That's
love
when you know
when
you're getting old.
of us sort of go, oh, don't say fucking sit in front of the old lady. It's like, what are you talking about? Stop treating people like they're not worldly wise and haven't lived a life.
Well, I prefer older audiences because they're just kind of like,
course.
yeah.
But younger generations treat us like we've never heard the word cunt.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I think it's getting, but but
I don't know, I
If you
think-
think about your grandmothers, like, oh, don't say anything in front of Granny. Granny has been fingered behind the bus shelter like the rest of us.
But it was different for Granny though, wasn't it? Was
What do you say that Roger was as well?
But anyway,
Stop.
so yes, well,
So finish the story, Andy.
well, there is no. Well, let's just do a little bit of the shtick.
Oh, do some
The
shtick.
shtick's much better, you know what I mean? Like I say, I've still got it. Well, the thing I think is I still got, I think I might have mislaid it. And the only thing I do have, still got is an enlarged prostate. You see, so and I tell you what, though, having an enlarged prostate is very, very difficult because I have to go to the loo about 6 times a night, and what's driving me mad at the moment is, like I'm having the bedroom and the toilet redecorated. So I stopped weeing in the toilet and started weeing in the sink. And I got so good at weeing in the sink, I can do it without pissing on the dishes. Right. My wife, he went ballistic, no surprise there. She was doing the washing up at the time.
Why did I ask?
Yes, so I went to the doctors and he said, Mr. Zapp, he said, can you just drop your trousers? He said, Mr. Zapp, he said, can you maintain an erection? I said, of course I can, just not my own. But we can do this before we get in it. Trying to talk sense though, like it's very difficult.
Well-
But yes, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on this show. But I always enjoy this show. It is nice and chaotic.
Yeah, it's been great having you and having all of you, and I hope folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. We try every week to make it better and better. It's hard with Jojo Sutherland, interrupting me every
What is the Jojo Sutherland
every-
show?
fucking word you want to say, you know, when you can't
Do you
finish,
know
a-
what?
can't finish a sentence.
No.
But we do manage to get, you know, on average, 4 stories that are currently interesting out there, but we really do welcome your comments, and we now have our new premises here, and we've got room for a small studio audience. We had a bunch of people tonight, but there was some sort of accident, and the traffic.
All died.
Yes, they committed death, there's somebody, yeah, somebody died, and it was all very sad. And,
Yeah.
Well, anyway, if we run out of drink this evening, we can always start on the carpet. can't
yes,
we?
that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, you can start up.
And I must apologise for interrupting men. It shouldn't happen.
And
You
you're
wasn't listened to as a
all
child.
When they
very-
know your place, honestly.
you're all.
Sorry, guys.
You're all very welcome to come and join us, and you can tell we have a good time.
We do.
And this is just gonna get better and
From the
better.
bottle, actually.
Yes.
Because these are all very, very experienced professionals. We know what we're doing.
Good.
And
We
we're,
work for cheap.
we're getting your
I
comments,
don't.
Well, you do, you're working for nothing.
and then we're getting your constructive criticism. And we're drinking a lot of beer.
My tablets are
And somebody
kicking in.
has to order the cocaine.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't know.
How much of this is going to survive the show?
Yeah, my
Why
God.
not?
There'll
Oh,
be no-
James,
no-
you've got to edit this.
There'll be
shit.
no,
I need to know the.
there'll be no cocaine on this show. You make that
What's
very
your
clear.
story?
Well, I don't know what the meaning of life is anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to hear my Robbie Williams joke?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, Robbie Williams, he stopped using King's Cross Station. He's Loving Angel instead.
Oh,
Wow.
I knew.
wow.
Yeah, look,
Say you don't get booked in all the main clubs.
yeah.
I think you've come off the rails with that one.
Can I just do one more then? I knew my mother was an alcoholic. But when I was a child, when she used to breastfeed me, I could taste the vomit on her tit.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
God.
That's like a tasteful one of the evening.
Yeah, well, on that note, may I be allowed to tell you my dad's favorite story?
Go on.
So
Yes.
I didn't realize it was made up. I actually believed it when I was a little kid, but he used to tell this joke to everybody. He would tell me that my grandfather was actually a Nazi.
Nothing wrong with that.
He was a famous high-ranking officer in the Luftwaffe. And he defected. He actually defected in the middle of the war to Britain and became a high-ranking officer in the RAF. And he flew very successfully many strategic bombing missions over Germany and German occupied territory. And when the war was over, my dad would tell me, my grandfather went on the lecture circuit and spoke in churches, in women's clubs, in schools, all over the place, recounting his adventures and his war and his history. And my dad explained how one day he was giving a talk at a ladies' bridge club in Penge, and he was explaining how they were coming back from a bombing mission and were attacked. And so he said, "Und we was flying back from the mission, you see, and all of a sudden, at about 2 o'clock, I look up into the sun and I see these 6 fuckers coming down on me." And the chairwoman said, "Ladies, what the colonel is referring to, Fokker, F-O-K-K-E-R, was a German combat warplane, you see? Isn't that right, Colonel?" And my dad said, "Your grandfather replied, 'No, madam, these fuckers was Messerschmitts.'"
Meet the Fockers.
With that, we will leave you, and thank you for your attention, and hope to see you again next week.
Hey,
Thank you. Bye.